On today's episode of Marv on Air, we've got a little bit of Lamar, a lot of going on there. We're going to talk some Final Four, along with some Caitlin Clark, and then we've got a very interesting post-sports situation going on. We're going to do a month's draft. We've got a James Cup, as per usual, with a brand new segment we're going to call The Draw, so you're going to want to stick around for that. Otherwise, let's run it. Welcome back to Marv on Air. Today is Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. We got a heck of a show for you today. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We got a full studio. It has been a while since we've had this full of a studio. We've been rocking the four-man set for a while, and I think we're having a lot of fun with it. We've got the new setup here with Redbone and I both at the main desk. How are we doing, Redbone?
Oh, we're feeling just peachy.
Awesome. I love it. We've got the stand here, and you'll probably wonder, well, you don't usually have a stand, Nick. Why, or Marv, why do you have a stand there? Well, it's because we pulled the stand from the booth. Alex, go ahead and show yourself. You're running just...
I don't have a mic.
He's just producer Alex
They
today.
took my mic.
And you probably wonder who handed Alex the mic right there. Well, we've got James and Cole Kermeans. Big hand of applause.
Hello, everyone.
Shout out Cole. How we doing, Cole?
I'm doing phenomenal.
And James somehow lost his mic. I don't know where.
No, it's in my hand.
Is. James, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. I love to hear it. We've got a full slate, really a full show. It's not so much a full sports news thing going on, but definitely a full show. I'm very excited to jump right into it. So let's go ahead and start with Lamar. Okay.
Start with Lamar.
Lamar has been the topic of conversation. Obviously, we didn't have a show Monday. We had a couple of exams going on, so we didn't jump right into it right away. But what came out, was it this weekend or was it Monday?
Combination of both. It was this weekend, though,
Alex,
the tweets
go
he fired
to
off.
graphic 1 or graphic 2 there. And Lamar tweeted this, and looks like the cameras are a little off, but that's totally cool.
I lettered to my fans.
Yeah, so Lamar says, "A letter to my fans. I want to first thank you all for the love and support you consistently show towards me. All of you are amazing, and I appreciate y'all so much. I want you to know not only to believe everything you read about, not to believe everything you read about me. Let me personally answer your questions." And then Alex, click the image, under sources, click the image and click the eye.
So
Right there.
did an article about him come out or something?
This is his tweet that he put out. He said, "In regards to my future plans, as of March 2nd," now keep in mind that was 27 days ago, he requested a trade from the Ravens organization for which the Ravens has not been interested in meeting my value. Any and everyone that's has met with me, interesting typo there, or been around me, know I love the game of football and my dream is to help a team," Alex, go ahead and mute image 6 there, "win the Super Bowl. You all are great, but I had to make a business decision that was best for my family and I. No matter how far I go or where my career takes me, I'll continue to be close to my fans of Baltimore, Flock Nation, and the entire state of Maryland. You'll see me again."
So he thinks that he's not making enough money as a NFL quarterback and thinks that he can support his family even more if he wins a Super Bowl?
Well, so basically what it comes down to is he's saying he's always wanted to win a Super Bowl, but the way the Ravens are running this whole thing is he's not getting paid enough. And when you look at Josh Allen versus his contracts, Josh Allen's made $88 million and Lamar's made $33, and they were the same draft class. What is that all about?
You got to remember that
he
Lamar's
might
still
be
a rookie.
undervalued, but him saying that I need to support more of my family or whatever he said.
Yeah.
I need to go to the Super Bowl for my family is complete horseshit.
Hey,
That is complete horseshit,
now.
dude. You want to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We get it.
yeah, obviously.
I don't think the Super Bowl thing is about money. I think that's more about a goal.
He said he wants
Yeah.
to win the Super Bowl so he can support his family.
He's
Or,
saying-
he wants to be on a
No.
Super Bowl team so he can support his family.
I think what he's saying with that tweet is he's saying his goal isn't money. His goal is to make the Super Bowl, right? And and Alex, what is going on in here?
It's a mess.
The point
It's a mess.
The point of this whole thing is Lamar is trying to find a way to make a lot of money. And I don't think the Ravens are willing to pay him that. And he requested a trade March 2nd, which is interesting that it wasn't public, right?
Yeah, they didn't reveal that until
He
the
tweeted it.
27th when he tweeted it out.
He tweeted out the 27th. Yeah.
What's
so
really interesting
Monday.
about that tweet is that he fired that off. So the owners' meeting was like over the weekend. I just checked it out, March 26th to today. So the owners have been meeting, going over like potential rule changes, stuff like that.
A lot of
And
interesting
he fired
things.
that tweet off when his head coach John Harbaugh he
Was on,
about
like,
to
the
go,
podium.
Was about to go up for a presser, like right before he fired that thing off. So Harbaugh found out about the tweet. What from a reporter being like, what's Lamar saying right now on Twitter? Like,
John
all this
was-
is happening live.
John was basically like, yeah, we're not going to get into that.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
Yeah, so obviously Lamar wants out of the Ravens camp. I don't think he'll be playing as a Raven ever again. There's a lot of teams that he could go
Which is
to.
nuts.
But what's more interesting is that nobody seems to want him.
Like, if you're a football team, why would you not? Like, Lamar is like, okay, he's not Burrow, he's not Josh Allen, he's not Mahomes, he's not one of those, like, the same general draft class as him, right? He's not one of those top tier, like, quarterbacks, but he's still like a top, 8 quarterback in the league, 9 quarterback in the league, and teams like the
least.
Commanders, the Patriots, the Lions, I guess, have been somehow kind of shopping the
Colts.
idea around. Colts. None of these guys, who Lamar would be a serious upgrade from any of what they have now. All of them are just kind of like, nah, we're not worried about it. I don't get that at all.
Did you have something to add, Cole?
Yeah, one thing there on the end of the tweet, it said, like, he'll be back to Baltimore. What does that mean?
Well, he's going to play there.
Oh, that's all that's
That's, I
implying.
think, what he's getting at.
Okay, so one thing that I think would be very interesting to see is, if the Aaron Rodgers to the Jets situation doesn't happen. And
Doesn't
yes,
happen. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you get Lamar to the Jets, and I feel like that team kind of has like a feel to it like last year's Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And I think that if that offense was ran similarly to those Eagles, that would be a really fun team to watch.
That would be a hell of a team.
Let's be real. Rodgers he's going to the Jets.
Well,
we all know
he
he
doesn't.
Yeah, we all know he wants to go there. It's really the Packers that are holding it up.
Yes.
From what I've heard too, though, is it's essentially what's happened is that Rodgers has said he wants to go to the Jets. The Packers have said we want to part ways. We're ready for Jordan Love.
Yep.
The Jets have said we want him. They've signed all of his requests. Anyone he's wanted, they've signed them. So it's pretty much just like the Jets and the Packers won't agree on the terms to which he's traded.
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
the Packers want a lot for
they
Rodgers.
wanted like 2 first-rounders,
Yeah,
didn't they?
and I'm not going to
Nuts.
say they're wrong in wanting a lot for like one of the best quarterbacks of all time, arguably the most talented quarterback of all time, behind maybe Patrick, I guess. But just as far as career longevity,
Yeah.
I think Aaron has that title for now, like best arm, accuracy, and all that. That's not the point of this argument. The point is, they gave up that leverage when they said they didn't want him on the team anymore.
Correct.
They said if all things go like wrong, he will be our starting quarterback. And I think that tells the Jets like, well,
The thing is,
we don't want him.
The Jets have also gave up their leverage. Like, nobody has leverage in this situation, like, really at all, besides Rodgers, just a tad bit, because he is a generational quarterback.
Yep.
So it's like somebody does want him on their team. But even him, it's like the Packers are not in any rush to, like, do what he wants. Like, they're like, we don't really care what you have to say right now. You kind of, screwed us on the way out. So we're not in any rush to make you happy right now. We're going to do what's best for us. And it just feels like nobody wants to get a deal done here. And it doesn't make sense to me, but
it's a very interesting situation. Did you have something to add?
Well, I was going to say another thing, too, there is, like, no diss to Rodgers, like, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but realistically, how much value does he have left?
Especially, as they
He's-
remaining in his career.
Right, he's no spring chicken.
Yeah.
that
And-
was the issue. One of the things that came out that was said was the what it appears will probably happen is, so I believe the Packers want 2 first-rounders
Yep.
in the future, but the Jets have offered a first-rounder and a second-round pick. But what appears the stipulation is going to be is it's going to be depending on how long Rodgers plays for the Jets. So if he's like 1 year in New York and done, then it's going to be a first-rounder and a second-rounder. But if he stays for multiple years, then it will be 2 first-rounders.
Gotcha.
Because the Jets are worried, okay, we trade away 2 first-rounders, and then he's only plays a year and goes to South America and does ayahuasca. Like, we got fleeced here.
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to
Especially if
they're
they
trying to
don't-
cover themselves, 12 months from now, 24 months from now. type deal.
Playing the long game, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad move by the Jets. I think this is something that will happen down the road. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to happen as soon as, when we were down in Florida, when
Right.
Pat had Aaron Rodgers on the show, and basically Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, I want to play for the Jets. And I thought that was kind of going to be when the deal was kind of done. But it wasn't, and I think it will end up being a later down the road thing. But back to Lamar, I think Lamar's deal is going to get done after the draft, realistically, because I think what it comes down to is teams are like, yeah, Lamar has missed a couple games the last 2 years. All right, we know he's playing a very risky style of quarterback. I don't know if I want to go in on him yet when we could potentially get a quarterback who drops.
Okay, but what? So if you are that team that's waiting out on the draft to see what you can pick up, like what quarterback is going to be suitable to the point where you don't pursue Lamar? You know what I mean? It's like they're good quarterbacks, but I don't know if there's one in this draft that would justify, not making a push for Lamar if you're in the position to.
I think that's where the Colts. So when you look at the Colts
Yeah.
right now, the Colts have nothing. Okay, say they do sign Lamar, yeah, he'd be an upgrade at quarterback, but they also have nothing around him that they'd be able to win. So I think they're probably we don't want to sign this massive deal when we're only going to win an extra 2 games. So instead
Yeah.
of going 2-15, now all of a sudden, we're 4-13. That doesn't do anything. So they're probably just we'll just tank again. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? The Commanders are the team that I think they have a good defense, good receiving core. The Commanders should sign him.
I got a question. Lamar, he doesn't play like your average quarterback, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's really fast.
Yep.
How many great quarterbacks have played in the same style that he has? Because
Michael Vick.
that's all I
Steve
can
Young.
think of, and that's the biggest name.
I mean,
'cause
Lamar.
That's the only quarterback I'll watch clips of.
Realistically, I think Lamar is kind of heading that category.
I would agree.
Especially
Well, Vic
in
was
any
ahead of
sort
him.
of recent any sort of recent memory. I
Yeah.
mean, you can go back to the 40s or 50s when guys were pioneering that scrambling quarterback, and you could put him in that argument. But I think it is mostly Lamar, and obviously Deshaun Watson threw the market into a whole entire cabal with his $230 million guaranteed deal. So there's a lot of moving pieces with it. But and what you were saying, Cole, basically is my approach to this is how is the team going to approach it? Teams that want draft picks over players blow my mind, because how can you take a guy you don't know? If you could take a guy 1 overall. Look at Josh Rosen, for example. Guys that went early and came out to be complete busts versus Lamar. We know Lamar's a guy, right? So I feel like Lamar is going to be a lot more valuable as opposed to a first round pick. But that's just kind of the mentality of these teams. What would you rather have, essentially? And I think a lot of them, especially this close to the draft, are going to be well, we'll take our chances with the draft. It's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks.
Yeah.
If the Colts don't get a quarterback at 4, then they might push for Lamar. A team that doesn't end up with a lottery pick quarterback out of the draft pushes for Lamar. I think that's kind of where it's going to end up happening.
I think Lamar's going to end up at a team that's has receivers, has a decent defense, where they're okay, we signed him for $250 million. He's going to take us from being a wild card team to contending for the division and potentially pushing far in the playoffs.
Yep.
No team that's currently on the downswing like the Colts. They're a lot of pieces away from being good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense for them to sign some guy to $250 million because it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
In terms of cap space and stuff like that.
Yeah,
A
cap
team
is a
like the
big player, too.
Commanders that kind of feels they're maybe a piece away potentially.
NFC East is looking pretty strong, though, with Darren Waller to the Giants.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
He makes
I
more
agree with
sense there than in Indianapolis.
you. Really? With
Oh, big
JT
time.
and interesting.
Big time.
I
Do you
he
think
makes
there's
more sense.
no argument at all for Indianapolis?
I think
'Cause
Colts
I
would be
think-
probably his best fit.
Right. I think there is an argument that they are a quarterback away from, not from Super Bowl, but from being good. They have, young guys like JT and Michael Pittman and some other young pieces, decent O-line, like no standout defense. But
The biggest thing, too, is look at the division, right? You got
Right.
the AFC South, who the Jags ended up winning because the Titans went on an 8-game skid.
Yeah.
And you got the NFC East with reigning Super Bowl run-ups. The Eagles, Cowboys are always somehow, round one exits, so at least they're in the playoffs. I feel like the NFC East is a lot stronger
I
than
don't
the
know.
AFC
If
South.
I'm a GM, and I guess those guys probably think differently than a fan.
Yeah.
But, like, as a fan, it's like you want to win a Super Bowl. Like,
that's the
yeah,
goal.
it's cool to have a good season and all. Like, that's nice. Like, you prefer that.
I feel like
guess,
Lions
than only winning.
fans are pretty happy with last year. But yeah.
Yeah,
I'm,
but like,
I'm agreeing
if
with you
you're
as a Patriots
If you're
fan
a
especially.
GM, you want to set yourself up to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I don't think the Colts are currently built to win they're not built to win a Super Bowl, even if they had Lamar.
Yep.
Yeah, they might get closer to 500, but they're still going to be not very good with Lamar. I don't know
agree.
why Baltimore just won't re-sign him.
I feel like he is Baltimore.
Yeah, he's from there, isn't he? Didn't he go to Baltimore Dunbar
No, he went to Louisville.
in high school?
Oh, I don't know where
Didn't
he went
he?
to high school.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure
he
he
went for
went
the,
to
he went the
Baltimore
purple and
Dunbar.
yellow team. That vine that went viral of him, like, the goal line step back and the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool vine. But yeah, obviously the Lamar situation is up in the air. But as we said on the last podcast we did, Lamar and these cryptic tweets, I mean, that was a pretty realistic, that was pretty straight up and down. I told everyone what was going on, which I liked. So props to Lamar for that. But
one more thing on Lamar. How do you feel about the Falcons? Because I know there's a lot of people that are favoring him to go to Atlanta.
well, he's out. Falcons have said Desmond Ridder's the guy.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There was like 6 or 7 teams that came out
Yeah.
and said, yeah, we're not going to be pursuing Lamar.
Atlanta's saying that, I think, just means that they're tanking. Like, Desmond Ritter is not the guy.
Desmond Ridder is.
He's not.
I don't know if I'd call him
So
a Super
I think
Bowl
they're just
tout.
like, yeah, we're just going to keep him around for a couple of years, lose like 15 games a year, get a couple draft picks, and then hopefully a draft next year or the year after that. They're probably just like,
We'll start rebuilding.
yeah, maybe. When does Arch Manning graduate? They're probably waiting for that. They're probably waiting for Arch Manning
Try
to
to get an
graduate.
Arch Manning sweepstakes.
That's what I would do personally.
I don't
He's
think that's a
our
bad
age,
move.
right? Like he's like a freshman
This
like
is
me.
going to be his freshman year.
Next year.
Next
in the
year.
fall.
So
yeah.
so he's got like, well, how
Oh
many years
my
will he
gosh.
play? I don't know.
Probably
Depends.
At least
1 or
3.
2.
I can't believe like
Bronny
what they
James.
call
Oh,
yeah.
you have to play 3?
Like
to
he's
be in
a
college
senior in high school. That Mikey Williams dude that was like
Mike
huge
Williams from
like
USC.
3 years ago.
Oh.
No, dude.
I thought you were talking about Mike Williams from USC from last year.
No, I'm talking about
Won
like
the
the
Heisman.
high
That's
schooler.
Caleb Williams.
Mike
Mikey Williams is the basketball player.
Mike
Yeah.
Who's
Williams.
still somehow in high school.
Yeah, he's in high school
Yeah,
and he's been
like Drew
huge
Timme.
since he was like
Yeah.
14 or something crazy.
He took his COVID year in high school and redshirted.
Really? What?
He had to have. He was in high school my freshman year of high school.
Really?
He had to have been.
Dang.
And he just stayed in high school again?
Somehow.
No, it's crazy.
They find a way, that is for sure.
I don't even know
but-
why I brought that up. I forgot.
I mean, we kind of touched on Drew Timme there. It's a perfect segue. We've got the Final Four coming up this weekend. And before we get into the Final Four, I think most people will be watching. There's a Final Four that I think more people should potentially be watching, the Women's Final Four, right? And why is that? Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is turning around women's basketball. She
Pause.
What do you mean? Dude, she is actually balling out for Iowa. As an Iowa State fan,
I wouldn't call it turning around college hoops. I would just
Yeah.
say making
Women's?
it somewhat turning it around.
Making a bit of a
It's
bit of a
making it- she's
splash. at the
rewriting
moment.
She's making it relevant.
Reviving?
It's never been relevant.
reviving is
No,
not.
bro.
Yeah, you can't say reviving.
You just said
Bringing
That's
it
kind
to
of what
life.
you said.
Bringing it to life.
No, bro.
No,
You worded it.
No.
You worded it wrong. We get what you're saying.
I get
Okay.
what you're saying, but
She's making it relevant.
You
Yeah,
taking a
she's
couple
making it
steps-
relevant.
couple
Is
steps too
exactly
far.
what I'm saying. So, as an Iowa State fan, then, are you going to be rooting for Iowa this weekend, Redbone?
Definitely not. I don't. This argument's been going on for Twitter, and all the Iowa fans, and even some Iowa State fans, which is just gross. They're like, "Oh, it's an Iowa team. We got to support our fellow Iowans." No, we don't. No, we don't. What? Like UNC and Duke are not cheering for each other. USC and UCLA are not rooting for each other. What are we doing here? Why are Iowa fans begging for Iowa State fans to all of a sudden be rooting for them? It makes no sense. I hope they lose by 80.
I hope Iowa gets fucking ran. I don't care that I'm nearby. They can lose every single game.
Iowa State destroys them, right?
Not in women's hoops.
If they did
Probably not
play,
in women's.
Iowa State destroys them.
I don't know about
Not in women's hoops.
We won the won the Big 12.
Do we won the Big? Iowa.
Yeah, we did win
is
the
in
Big
the Final
12, but
Four.
Iowa's in the Big 10. And
They've
So
lost like
they
what?
won
5
the Big
games.
10.
Yeah.
Did they win the Big 10?
Iowa? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah,
would
whatever.
imagine.
They're like a top
Whatever,
4
First
team in
round.
the
We were
country.
first round exit.
Wait, we were?
Yeah, in the big dance. 5 or
We were not that high. We were a 5. I think we were a 5 seed.
We're good.
Yeah,
We weren't ranked 5.
no.
And
5
our
seed.
team is all just regular looking white girls.
Yeah.
If you look at our team, it looks like the bio department.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh my god. Well, Caitlin Clark is certainly hitting them from the logo. Like fast breaks, she'll pull it from 3. She's a lot of fun to watch.
You
I'm
wanna
not saying
think
I'm
these
rooting
girls
for
could ball
Iowa.
out.
These logo 3s are so artificially inflated. That logo in the March Madness
It's
thing
very
is massive.
very
it's
wide
like 2
logo.
feet behind the 3-point line.
Yeah, I will
It's-
say that.
These logo 3s are artificially inflated
I will
numbers.
certainly agree with you there.
There's this clip of Shaq that he says. Were you going to talk? Oh, there's this clip of Shaq where he goes, I think that we can make women's basketball a lot more entertaining if you just lower the rim by about 6 inches and introduce the dunk to just regular players. I think I'd watch it more.
I mean,
Or at least I'd acknowledge clips a lot more if there's some crazy thing and then a dunk.
it would
rather
certainly
than-
turn it on its head because shooting then goes out the window, right? Like you're shooting on a 9.5-foot rim versus a 10-foot rim. I think your shot is going to be way
I'm sure it
different.
would change a little
I
bit.
don't know.
I think it would be a.
Yeah, it
I think
would
that's
be
where I
hard to
disagree
shoot.
with Shaq.
Huh?
I think that's where I disagree with Shaq.
Really?
Because even if
I
they're,
think you have to introduce the dunk.
even if they're 8-foot hoops, though, like
Not 8 foot.
okay,
They're
no,
gonna have their
no,
elbow
listen,
in there.
No, but what I'm saying is, say they are 8-foot rims and everyone can dunk on a women's team. They're still not going to be doing like as cool of dunks as like a men's game would.
I know, but it
So, like,
it
but what
introduces
differentiates-
another layer of to make the game more dynamic.
But,
Does
like-
that make sense?
But I think I think what women's basketball should like lean on is the fact that it is like a little more slowed down. Like there's not as many fast breaks. They run a lot more half court sets. So like if they're going
Nobody
to
wants to watch a slow game.
yeah, but if they're going to stay true to basketball without completely changing the way that basketball's played, their like way they can brand themselves is by being different and being a more fundamental game for all the basketball sickos out there who just want to watch like reverse pivots and like jump stops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Oh my
that's what
God.
people want to watch, the crazy shit. And if women
Jump
don't
right.
have the dunk, which is
But a women's game
half
on
of the
8 foot
crazy
wouldn't be as crazy as a men's game on 10.
I know, but at least it introduces something.
You're not going to see
of that
alley oops
nature.
in a women's game. I
No.
don't think.
No, but
It wouldn't-
it's
it
cool
wouldn't-
to see, and it's cooler to see. Like nobody's turning on a basketball game to. Damn, they really got good fundamentals. Wow,
Yeah, but
it's a real slow,
if they played
technical
on-
game right now. I can't believe what I'm watching.
If they
No,
played
you
on-
want to see these girls throwing down.
If they played on 8-foot hoops, that would alienate more fans than it would bring in.
You're insane.
No, I'm not at all.
I don't
agree.
think that would alienate. It's lowering the rim just so most women can dunk.
That is a tough concept, one that probably won't happen for years. but
ever.
6
It won't
inches.
happen
I'm not saying lower it by 3 feet.
But how
or
many
whatever
more
it is.
people are going to be able to dunk on 6 inches versus?
I'm
9.5
not saying
versus-
that do it for men's. I'm just saying for women's. Just so
well,
they-
but
imagine
how many
imagine
more
a
are gonna be
9-foot
able to
hoop for
dunk?
men. Ooh, you got 360
They'd hit
windmills
their
a
head
game
on it.
from everybody. That would be crazy. But yeah, speaking of the men's hoops, obviously we do have a lot of hype around this Final Four because it's one of the first Final Fours without any blue bloods in it in a while. I know. Before we jump into that, if you're enjoying the show, be sure to tell a friend about it. Obviously, we're trying to grow this program here, so if you're enjoying it, be like, hey, these goons talking about college hoops, talking about NFL, they don't know what they're talking about, but they have a good time. So don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button down below and share it. The subscribe, but the Final Four. Okay, so we've got SDSU, FAU, Miami, and UConn.
Huskies.
So this is a paradise Final Four, if you will, right?
We got Boca Raton, San Diego, Miami, the beautiful, beautiful beachfront city of Storrs, Connecticut.
Storrs, Connecticut. We're going there for spring break next year. Just so you know, we've already booked our flights.
Who is we?
You and me.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Just us. You don't want to run back Stores, Connecticut?
Oh boy.
Pass. Yeah.
It's
no,
the Paradise Final Four.
it is certainly a very nice looking Final Four. We got a 5, a 4, another 5, and a 9 seed. So pretty high seeded Final Four. No 1, 2s, or 3s included. And teams that seem to be kind of random, right? We've got the alphabet soup game between FAU and SDSU. That's going to be, I think, tighter than a lot of people will anticipate. I think FAU's a real team. And then obviously UConn has been absolutely running through the tournament, putting up 15-point wins on almost anybody. And who they got? They got
Miami.
Yeah. So
One more thing I would say in women's volleyball, like
my God.
wait, I'm let me just in women's volleyball, like the net's shorter, it's lower to the ground, so there's like a spike.
yeah.
If the women played on a net where they couldn't spike and men could spike, I mean it'd be a completely different game. Does that make sense?
I don't really, but like volleyball was like, it's a women's sport.
But like,
It's not a women's
I would-
sport.
I
no
would
sport
argue-
is women's and no sport is men's.
I would argue that men's volleyball plays on higher nets.
They
It's
do,
not women's
and
playing on lower. Men are playing on higher.
That's
could-
exactly what I'm saying.
But basketball is played at 10 foot.
bro.
So men should play at 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But girls can
Exactly.
still dunk. It's not like they can't dunk.
It's
if
not
it was,
like they can't.
If there was a higher net and they can't spike it, that's completely different than them.
Yeah.
Not like no one being able to dunk.
If every girl could spike it, then
Yeah, you can have that.
sure, that'd be like having the hoop at 9.5.
Interesting.
But if none of them could spike it, and only like 4 of them could spike it, then,
We rescued
then
Brittany
you could-
Griner from Russia just so we have a woman who can dunk.
that was like
What does that have to
60%
do?
of the reason for that trade.
ESPN's TV ratings
No,
were
people
hurting.
are going crazy. Back to the alphabet soup.
Yes. So we do.
I just wanted to bring that up so I can get shut down.
Understandable. Yeah.
It's actually crazy to think that one of those teams is going to the national championship.
Yeah.
It's unfathomable.
Well, SDSU was 70-1 before the season, before their tournament, before everything to win it all. I think actually.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're in their actual running to make it. We do have a parlay cooked up.
Imagine
Speaking
being
of
the guy that
70-1
put
odds.
like $25 on his local team, SDSC or
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
some undergrad.
I'm gonna win $25,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's going to be in a serious hedge situation if they
Yeah.
do happen to win.
Oh, they actually are in a hedge situation now.
But so the parlay we briefly discussed before we
Well,
went
let's just
live here.
preview. Let's just preview what happened last week.
Well, you said parlay. Okay.
Well, I mean the parlay
Let's-
we had
okay.
last week. What happened last week?
Yeah, we got every single one wrong, which is incredible considering we just picked all spreads.
Yeah.
So like it's either one or the other that's going to hit.
and we went
got
0%.
0 for 4.
Yeah.
That's more impressive than going 4 for 4.
Yeah, I think we are officially the fade program. So keep that in mind as we read this parlay out for you.
You're like book it with Trent. Just pick the opposite.
Yeah, that's literally what's happening. We were pretty horrible at this.
Yeah, so whatever we say here, don't feel free, do it, take the exact opposite. And what we're going to tell you to do is we're going to tell you to take UConn minus 5.5. We're going to tell you to take San Diego State minus 1.5.
Yep.
We're going to tell you to take the unders in both games.
Okay.
So
San Diego State's mascot.
the Aztecs.
Aztecs.
The Aztecs. We can get into the advanced analytics here in just a second.
I'd like to look at that because UConn is like a husky, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That one's kind of dope. I
We'll,
like
we'll
that.
get into the advanced analytics here in just a second once we get through the parlay. But so
Well, that was it.
That was a plus
Take both
Plus
favorites
1,000?
and take both unders.
plus 1,000. Keep that in mind. Yeah. I think-
And bet the exact opposite.
and bet the exact opposite.
Because there's no way that's right.
But James alluded to it. The advanced analytics. If you haven't seen, we've done a Sweet 16. Well, we did a whole tournament preview.
Yep.
Sweet 16 preview. Final Four preview. We've done advanced analytics on the mascots of every team, right? Something that no one else is out there doing. And
I don't mind San Diego State's logo, man. It's kind of tough.
well,
it's kind of tough.
who are you taking? An owl or an Aztec?
Oh wait, I thought it was a dog for UConn.
Well, it's FAU.
Well, they
versus
don't play
SDSU.
each other
Florida
yet.
Atlantic.
Yeah,
FAU
FAU is playing
Owls.
SCSU, so FAU Owls.
FAU.
So
basketball.
I don't think
On
you
the
need to pull up
advanced
the logo,
metrics,
but
No, let me just
I
go over
personally, I'm taking the Owls to win.
I like an
Ooh.
owl over
How do
an
you
Aztec
spear
as
an
well.
owl?
I mean, you imagine put yourself in this
That
mindset.
owl's kinda
Everyone, take a second.
tough.
Take a second. Take a second. Put yourself.
FAU.
Imagine you're an Aztec right now.
We're doing like a
Aztec is
Deadliest
dope, though.
Warrior episode. Aztec versus Owl. All right.
Yeah.
Who's got the hand-to-hand combat upper hand?
You've got a spear, right? You're an Aztec.
Yep.
If you somehow manage to throw a spear and absolutely dime an owl, you're like the hero of the Aztecs. But if you get taken down by an owl, it's just like, oh yeah, we expected that.
Okay,
As
no,
an Aztec.
one thing quick. If you're expecting an owl to kill an Aztec warrior, then how do you explain the existence of
Bro,
humans?
they didn't think that they could win in a
But
fight
owls
against a
are
parrot.
not predators to
Nor
Aztecs.
are they the Aztec warriors. They're just Aztecs.
Yes.
They didn't specify that in
True.
their mascot.
It's not the SDSU Aztec Warriors.
correct.
It's just the SDSU Aztecs.
Do you guys know how many
Could be
people
any
the
Aztec.
Aztecs sacrificed?
Probably at least 2
Okay.
or
Alright,
3.
They
probably
sacrificed
one thing
so
quick.
many people with the Mayans. Oh my god.
Pump faked.
Keep going.
So do you think if you're not an Aztec warrior, just a regular Aztec person, you're just like a pushover?
Oh,
Living-
yeah,
Absolutely
big time.
not.
Over an owl?
Those
Dude,
people-
owls are deadly.
Yeah, they were dying
Ask
of yellow
Hunter.
fever left and right.
Ask Hunter about the owls.
There's a big difference
They
between
were dying
Hunter
of yellow
Ring and
fever.
an
What are you
Aztec.
talking about?
What do you
They
gotta
were
say?
dying of yellow fever.
They were dying of something.
Anything.
But you're expecting the Aztec to have a
People
spear.
used to die of diarrhea.
Yeah. They,
You don't
imagine
think an
going
owl can
across
take
the
down a
country. You
person
leave
from the
you leave
1800s?
Philadelphia and you're like, I'm gonna go to the other side. I'm gonna go over to California. Diarrhea the entire time
Exactly.
in
That'd be
a wagon.
Oh,
awful.
What you got, Mini Marv?
You said that they would have a spear.
I'm saying, yeah, I would say an Aztec has a spear.
That would kind of mean that they're a warrior, right? Did
No,
they
it's-
say
but-
before?
or an Aztec
Okay,
just
Are you
picked it
saying,
up.
are
Oh,
you
wait,
saying
wait,
a
wait,
basket
wait.
weaver has a shot against an owl?
Yes,
Only the
It's a
warriors
person.
have a shot.
Yeah.
Okay, but I was gonna say that it's not. You can use it as a fucking bat.
No, owls are too quick.
Yeah, owls are fast.
You guys
They
didn't
got-
look
they got
into
the-
the advanced metrics.
But if we go back
Yeah.
to our
You guys are
tier
looking
list,
at the middle ground metrics.
Owl
if we
experts
go back
right
to the tier
here.
list,
Dude, something people forget about owls, they can do this.
but if
They
you go
got that
back to the tier
360
list,
head.
what did you guys say about every single bird? What did you say? About
I was the one
every
that was
single bird?
proponent for birds in the killing.
Yeah, what
What
did you
thing?
say about every single bird?
So, and like most average humans
rest
can
my
take down
case.
almost every single bird except for like an emu, that blue-faced
bald eagle.
one. No, we
Ostrich?
can take down a bald
Ostriches
eagle
are
and an
pretty scary.
ostrich. An ostrich would mess
so
us up
us
for,
on-
for the most part.
Us on the host table here are taking FAU.
we
It
ran
sounds
the
like
advanced metrics.
I
you
got
guys-
FAU. I got FAU.
You got an owl over
I
an
think-
Aztec.
Dude,
So-
we're not. This
what
is
do you
not
got?
a death battle.
Aztec
This is
versus
a basketball
owl.
mascot.
Advanced
Look at the
analytics
advanced
only.
metrics.
Advanced analytics only. You got an owl or an Aztec.
Owl.
Aztec.
Well, no, not in a fight. I think logo wise.
This isn't a fight.
No,
This
no,
is
no. This is
advanced
not about the
metrics.
logo. This is about a fight to the death between an Aztec and an owl.
To win college basketball.
Aztec.
Okay, so you guys were on the Aztec train. We're on the owl
guys are
train.
lame as
I guess we'll
fuck.
see what turns out. And speaking of the advanced analytics, we got one more to go through. We got Hurricane versus a Husky. And I think that's pretty cut and dry.
Husky.
What are you talking about? Bro,
Here's my argument. Can I talk? Okay.
this better be good.
All right. So
What,
You know,
what's the team? With, oh, Miami.
So you think about a hurricane. You need the perfect conditions for a hurricane to brew, and then what? Lasts a couple days, and it's just gone. A husky, dog's out there living long time.
All right, let me run you through this one. You got a
Isn't he? Is he a duck? No.
no. It's a hurricane. Hurricane versus a
Sebastian
husky.
the ibis, or
So we've got-
the Miami maniac.
Let's say you've got your traditional Florida native. He's got his little husky tied up outside, going to the bathroom. All of a sudden, hurricane
that's their
warning
mess.
hits.
I fuck
Exactly.
with him.
Right?
He's kind of cool.
You're like, shoot, I gotta go get undercover, and you leave your husky outside. What's gonna happen? A hurricane? It's gonna rip up a panel of wood from
Yeah.
another house and squash that dude. All love to dogs. I'm a big dog guy.
He's just got to outlast it, though. It's going to be a hell of a game, very hectic, but he's going to outlast
See-
the hurricane.
See, Cole, when I plug this game into
That's a good
my
point. Good
into
point.
my advanced analytics calculator, I realized that the last time a hurricane and a husky met in the city of Houston, Hurricane Harvey happened, and that thing was devastating. There were no huskies left in the city of
Behind.
Houston,
Yeah.
which means the Hurricanes are going to win here.
So we've got both underdogs
This is in
on
Houston.
the table. I'm taking Houston. Or
I'm taking Miami.
I'm taking Miami.
Give
as
me
well.
the Canes.
Yeah, I like a hurricane over a husky because you're right. They do have to outlast it, but that's a pretty long shot.
This is just the advanced metric algorithm I'm basing this off.
One calculator. That's
One
all.
thing.
That's all.
Miami seems to have a stork as their mascot with a hat that
What
says
is this guy
Hurricane.
talking about?
No, like the actual like
So-
tangible like mascot.
You
of the
guys
Jaguars.
don't-
The person can't dress up as 70-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, they're
Let
faster
me
than that.
continue.
The Miami stork is badass.
I really like
yeah.
the stork. I like the look of it. I like the proportions. I like the cartooniness of it. I'm gonna have to go with Miami just
Yes.
because, like,
Yes.
I'm picking UConn all
Oh,
day as just like a husky versus a hurricane, but I really like the stork as a mascot. So
Interesting.
You guys are completely forgetting.
I
my
think whoever
advanced
wins
algorithm.
whoever wins this advanced analytic though is the clear winner.
I think so. I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, I would agree.
I think
would
so.
agree. I haven't plugged that into my algorithm yet, but
But I like it.
I think so.
I like it.
I think so.
So that's our Final Four preview. Obviously, very analytical, very serious. That means we're going straight into the draft then.
We're going in the
We
draft.
got a draft for you guys. Very special one today. 4 of us drafting. Alex will just be running the cameras behind the hut there. Unfortunately, not a huge part
Shout
of
out our
this.
guy.
Shout out, Alex.
Producer of the year.
We are going to be doing months. All right.
Months draft.
There are 12 months. There are 4 of us. That means 3 rounds. We're going to snake it, starting with Cole. Cole, what's your number 1 pick?
June.
We're going June.
Interesting.
First overall pick.
Why is that?
My birthday's in June.
What a lame
Okay.
reason.
Yeah.
I love my birthday in June. You know, it's start of summer. I think it edges out July just because, you know, there's more excitement on the front end of summer.
Yep.
You know, by the time you get to July, it's like, man, summer's flying. And it's like basically
almost
like,
over.
it's like, shit, I got like 2 weeks and I'm back to school.
Fair enough.
That's why I'm picking June.
All right. James, what do you got?
I think I gotta go with the king of all months, October.
Oh, he took mine.
Let me tell you why.
You took mine, so I'm behind you.
So in October, there's 2 to 3 weeks, at least where we are in Iowa, where you have perfect weather. The leaves are a
Yep.
perfect color. The wind isn't blowing too hard. You can be outside in a hoodie or shorts or a t-shirt. There's no allergies. It's the perfect time of year, in my humble opinion. And there's not a whole lot of rain at that point. Either.
It's not bad.
Alex, what do you got to say?
I think my favorite part is that when you wake up, it's cold, but then it'll warm up
Yes.
to like 65.
Yeah. That's a
Oh,
good
yes.
point.
In college
Fuck.
football.
That might be
Yeah.
the best
College football.
pick.
Oh
in my
my
opinion.
gosh, yeah.
October was, yeah.
That's a good
That
month.
was a steal. You
a good
stole
month.
that.
I'm surprised
Me-
it didn't go 1.
I agree. Me personally,
I thought the same thing.
this might be. I'm gonna end up. Here's the thing. I'm gonna end up in the same boat as Cole as everyone else, being like, "Oh, bad pick." But I'm taking November,
Okay.
which is
Bad pick.
for 2 main reasons.
leaving me in the
3
dust here.
really. One, weather. I can deal with a little hoodie season.
'Kay.
I can deal with having to wear pants.
Yep.
Even if you got to throw a coat on, I can live with that.
It's bleak.
College football, November college football is amazing. There's like 3 or 4 games, and they're very important games. And also, we have Thanksgiving. Great holiday, underrated. Football, food, family. What more do you need in a holiday? We get a week off from college. It's great. So I'm going with November.
That is a good one. I think with what's left, you guys picked some dang good ones. I'm gonna have to go January. All right, and it's
Okay, bad pick.
It's a hot take. It's a hot take. It's a hot take, but let me run you through
January
why. All right.
might be top 3 worst.
Let me run it. Let me run you through why.
Might
All
be.
right. We've got New Year's 6 for college football, playoff implications in the NFL.
Guys, take the main
We've got-
part of the month, which is the weather. We're not talking about
No.
No.
You've got the optimism of a new year. Okay. Everyone's
No.
like, all right, I'm going to
That
turn
don't
my
mean
fitness
anything.
journey around. I'm going to fix my diet. Everyone's got these
What
high
about-
hopes.
What about the New Year's 6 games that are played on New Year's Eve? You don't get those.
Yeah, okay.
That's a problem for
What
you.
about-
That's the playoff.
Okay, but
That's
how,
the playoff.
how hyped is everyone at 12 a.m. on New Year's Day?
But you don't get to claim the college football playoff in January.
Okay, I'm just saying. I don't think January. I think it's a sleeper pick. Okay, I think a lot
Okay,
of people
I'm
are hyped in
comfortable
January.
calling it sleeper.
I mean, February is definitely going to be like the last pick here.
Correct.
And I have to take the last pick. But
Have fun
I
with
think-
February.
I think January isn't the worst pick in the world. All right, and with the snake draft, that means I get the second,
So you
The first pick,
basically
second
got an upgraded February.
basically.
Okay, you
Yeah.
got a February.
I wanted that
plus
one off the board.
You should just
No.
take December so you can have the whole winter.
I should, but I'm not going to. I am going to go ahead and take May
Oh, good pick.
with
May's a good point.
I
Good
wanted
pick.
May.
With
May's
my
good.
first
Great pick.
pick of the second round. I'm going to go ahead and take May because it is like when spring is, especially in Iowa, it's like really here. right? We've had a couple false springs at this point, through March. May, school's ending, right? We're getting into summer. Everyone's like hyped. Finally, it's not winter anymore. There's not a lot of sports going on. You got like the NBA's kind of gearing up. MLB's in I don't think it's full swing yet, is it?
No.
When does it
Well,
start?
The weather
it's
finally dies
catching
down
wind.
in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it finally
May,
dies down.
May almost has more optimism to it than January because you're finally through the winter. But I like May as my second pick there. What do you got, Redbone?
That's a good pick. Me, see, there's two left that I really, really like.
Why didn't you go with May first?
Yeah.
Well, they're interchangeable because I had them back to
Okay,
back.
that's fine. That's fine. Me personally, there's 2 months left that I really, really like, and I think I'm gonna have to go with the one I don't want to take.
Don't do it.
But I
Fade
think I
yourself.
need to fade myself, and I think I'm gonna go with December.
Wow.
I want Christmas. I want bowl games. Okay, great month. That's when like snow is still
It's almost
cool.
like it's the optimism of winter. I
Yeah,
would
it's
say.
like
people
good
don't mind winter in December.
yeah.
Well, because winter barely starts in December. Winter is just.
Oh, yeah.
December's just like the ass end of November weather, where it's just bleak outside. All the trees are still.
You're
dead.
still hanging on to fall almost.
You're still trying to
No,
hang on to fall.
I have good winter.
when January and
the
and
good
February
part of
are
winter.
real
Yes.
winter, you know.
Well, then what are you taking with your second?
yeah,
pick in
you
the draft?
got round 2 here, James.
I think I'm gonna have to go July. I
Good.
think July,
That was the one I
Let's
was
go.
debating. That was the one I was
July
debating.
is, I mean, it is the pinnacle of summer in
Yep.
my opinion.
See, I'm with Cole on the
it's
whole.
hot.
Once July hits, you start thinking about school. You start
No,
being
that's
like,
August.
No,
That's
like
August.
maybe in August I'd say, because most people start like, no, maybe the ass
You have the
end
4th of July. You just gonna be like, I'm
4th of July is
patriotic.
cool.
Yeah, it's a very, very like boat.
It's
late.
nice
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yes.
The sun's out till 9.
It's
Yeah.
I like the
Sun
extra
rises at,
sunlight
like,
for
6.
sure.
Yeah.
It's hot.
I don't
It's
mind the
very
heat.
hot.
I don't mind
That's
the
what
heat.
I like June for the not so hot.
I
end
think
of
they're
summer.
interchangeable.
Yeah. They're not too big of a difference.
I think August is just as hot for
Yeah.
the most part.
Yeah, I
as
agree.
July.
I agree.
I'm like probably top 3 warmest people on the planet Earth.
yeah.
I
Runs hot.
fucking die in July. That I wouldn't have picked it just because of that fact, but God.
All right. Well, Cole, you're
All
gonna
right.
end up round 2 here.
Yeah, one little thing I like to add on to June quick is NBA Finals.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
a hell of a.
Good. Yeah.
It's not
it's
bad.
top tier
Not bad.
basketball.
What are you
Alright?
taking now?
So
There's two
moving
good
forward,
ones
you
left.
know, we got the best month of summer off the board. You know, we have
Yep.
good winter
Oh,
gone,
Do
Yep.
it to us.
right?
Yep.
We want the best month in spring, which is April.
Oh, another
do that.
brutal
The
pick.
smell of rain. The
Yikes.
smell of rain.
Hold up. I do like that smell.
Love that smell.
All right. So, you know, you're thinking about spring. March is still too cold. May is more pre-summer, right?
Yep.
Think about April. It's like, oh, this is darty weather.
Oh,
baby.
That's a
It's
good
dirty
pick.
weather.
You know what
a good
else is
pick.
dirty weather? But keep going.
Yep. And then, so the thing about school in March, you still got a lot left. In May, you're
It's
worrying
over.
about finals.
True.
April's still, it's just kind of like school's just like kind of happening, but it's not too bad. And that's the thing
April-
about
You've
You've got
April.
light
It's
at the end of
just
the
A-
tunnel.
April
such
is when
peak
ABC
second
countdown starts.
Yeah.
April is just such a vibey month. It's
I
so
like it.
nice.
I
All right.
like
well,
it.
you got the
You got
first
another pick.
of the 3rd round here.
Awesome.
April
All right.
is just when ABC countdown starts, and you can just start counting down the weeks of when school ends.
Yep.
You're very
You
optimistic.
can see the end.
I mean, yeah, you can see the end. You can see the finish line. Don't get me wrong; it starts to drag, but man,
It's not a bad pick.
when May
What's
hits
your-
after April, you're like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. What do you got? Final pick.
Last, so if I'm not mistaken, is September still on the board?
Oh, it's still on the
Still
board.
September's still on the board.
Great.
More darty weather. Great college
pick.
football.
Great pick.
You're out of the intro weeks of school. School's not
Great
like killing
pick.
you anymore. It's just
It's
kind of
syllabus
easy in
month.
September.
It's
Yeah.
syllabus month.
Oh
Dang
my
straight.
gosh. You know, I am very happy with my draft.
You
Very
had a good
happy.
one. You had a good one.
Yep.
You had a good one. All right, James. Final pick.
Me?
What do you got?
I mean, March definitely ain't dirty weather. September, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. That's
a good
dirty
pick.
weather.
You got
Feb-
third
You
round
got
pick.
February, March,
I
and
still got
August
the heavy
left.
hitter October.
Oh, Feb, March, and August.
You got
Shit.
August.
No. So I mean, you gotta go with August.
big, bro.
You gotta go with August.
Okay.
Yeah,
What'd you take?
he picked September.
What'd you take? August.
I gotta go with August because February it's still too bleak you're sick of winter. And March, it's half winter. I mean, give me a break.
Okay.
It's like heavy rain and then it freezes. You
Yeah,
can't walk.
Love that.
March is just bipolar.
All
It's
right.
a bipolar month.
Well, granted, we only have March and February left.
Yeah.
I'm taking March and March Madness. It's
Okay.
also like we're starting to see spring. It's the transition month out of winter. Okay.
Called it. I literally
We got
called
March Madness, which I was considering taking March in the second round just because March Madness, like the last 2 weeks, are like two of the best weeks in sports.
Couldn't leave July on the
So-
board though.
Correct. Well, I didn't take July. I
Or
took December.
December. Sorry,
Correct.
I'm looking
correct.
at the wrong
I can
board
leave
here.
that.
But so to me, like third round, March is a steal.
That's not
It's
bad.
a steal late round.
Weather's
How are you
not
feeling about
perfect.
February?
So let me run you
Nick,
through
all
why.
right, hold up. Let's do
February-
what are your 3 months?
I've got January, May, and February. Let me tell you why February though.
Dude, September and July were on the board.
Let me tell you why.
When you picked 2 picks at the same time.
February is one of the best months in the whole year.
For what?
Let me tell you.
Because it's the shortest?
Because of that.
You don't even
And-
get a full month.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. You've got
Seasonal depression.
Yeah.
You should have pitched just the Super Bowl.
This is
That's where you messed up.
yeah. I mean, there's
That's
a lot
all you
of,
can claim.
lot of fun things in February. I gotta say. So
You
that's
didn't name one good thing.
I named the one good thing in February.
Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
not
Super,
Nick.
Super Bowl was about the only thing February's got. But we'll put that up on some social somewhere and see who people pick. Because
I'm
you
feeling
three, I think,
good.
have good ones.
I'm feeling great.
I am horrible. I'm notoriously bad at drafts somehow. Every single draft, I think I've been dead last in. We've got a James Cup. All right, this is the last thing before our final new bit. For those of you watching right now, be sure to stick around for the new bit we're doing at the end here. I say, what do you say? You just blow in this, and the one that falls out, and we do.
Go for it. Well, that one was out first.
came
Purple's out first.
Purple came out first. We've got. When did you find out Santa was not real? From James. This is inside James' brain.
I think my brother found out before no. I knew before he did, but he told my parents before I did.
Okay,
Because I was just keeping up the facade so he would still believe.
gotcha.
But then one day he was like, you know that fucker ain't real, right? You know he's not real, right?
Do you
know
guys even
that-
remember? I don't remember not. Do you?
Yeah.
I do not remember it.
You never want to be the first kid, and you never want to be the last kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like I didn't like find out like legitimately like mom told me or something. I found out at school before we moved, but there were still people who believed in him when we came here. I ratted that man out.
Oh no, you were that kid.
I
huh?
was that kid. Bro.
You were
I was
that
like,
kid.
Hey, you believe in Santa Claus?
that
See,
dude.
What do you ask to Santa Claus for Christmas this winter?
Not legit.
I feel like I didn't have like there wasn't like a moment
wrong.
for me that it was like no. To me, what really was like gave it away early on was like me and my dad. We used to always do the like NORAD Santa tracker thing, and you could
Oh,
like watch
for
him
sure.
on the
We did
map
that.
fly around.
We did that.
And I remember like watching it, and I had been in like kindergarten, and I was like, "How is this? This guy's not even stopping. How is he delivering gifts this quick?"
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
like
"There's no
throwing
way
him
this-"
out the.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, but you like as a kid, I just convinced myself that he was like throwing pixie dust or something.
Yep.
But like I was early on the something doesn't add up here.
Okay.
But
Okay, Cole, do you remember?
Yeah, I was pretty early, so I think it was like 7 or 8.
eighth
you know,
grade for you, right?
Yeah, I was about 7th or 8th grade.
Right. So it started. This all happened in a matter of a couple months, but I got like some sort of disc. I don't remember if it was a movie or something, but it had the Best Buy sticker on it. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell, Santa?
Interesting.
Like, you can't just make the disc. You don't have to go to
Pick
Best
it
Buy
up.
for it.
Yeah.
Right? But then, so that's what started me off. And then, one day I'm down in the storage room looking for a crock pot for mom or something.
Oh no.
And, I look at the wrapping paper bin and I'm like, I had a pretty good memory as a kid. I'm like, Mom, how'd you get the same wrapping paper as Santa?
Ooh,
The
gotcha.
wrapping paper, did your parents, from like, if it was to James from Santa, did they put like a to
I don't
Nick from
remember
Santa?
ours necessarily.
So on mine, we had that, but Santa was written all cryptically, like kind of like how
Yes.
Yes.
With like
That's
a
how-
like
ransom
all
note.
sharp. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, ours were pretty
So
straight up.
when I went over to my cousin's house, and it was the same, but it was just a little bit off, and the wrapping paper was different. I was like, That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just matured another 4 months, and I was like, I don't think he's real.
Put it 2 and 2 together.
I think he's just as made up as the Easter Bunny.
The handwriting thing doesn't make any sense to me because I know my mom, like when I was a kid, she just would like have my grandma. It was my grandma would do like weird writing, I guess.
Gotcha.
And then it was the same with
Calligraphy.
family Christmas
Yes.
as well, though. So I guess, well, it's like what like kindergarten, first grade kid is like comparing the handwriting to Santa. I know why.
That's how I got the Tooth Fairy. Actually, I was about that age.
What?
And I was. I compared.
notes?
I got a note. I had a note that I had a note that mom. I had a note that mom had written to someone else, or like a signature or something, and I compared it to a Tooth Fairy note. And I was like, these are not these are the same. Like how can this be the Tooth Fairy?
Wow, that's deep.
One night, my
I don't remember
tooth didn't
Santa,
even
but I
get
remember
picked
that.
up, and I was like, hey, the Tooth Fairy didn't come. And it was like, oh. I just take $5 out of my pocket. I was like, okay, cool.
Another thing too with my family was so we would have like big family Christmases like at my grandma's house with me and all my cousins.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there would be like discrepancies between us, like, you know, sometimes your parents give you more presents and Santa doesn't do much.
Yep.
But for them, it was like all Santa and their parents didn't get them anything.
Gotcha.
Or like, you know, how big's a stocking? Like the ratio from stocking to present was
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff didn't add up.
Interesting.
Oh,
we all
another-
had some pretty
another thing about
insightful.
this Tooth Fairy. I didn't realize this at the time. My parents got me like a little pillow with a pocket on the front.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, you put the tooth in.
Yep.
But the pillow had a strap that I'd put on my door,
Mm.
so I don't, you know, put it on my pillow.
Yep.
And I didn't realize this till like 2 years ago when I started actually thinking about it. I was like, oh, they just opened my door.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it made their life 1,000 times easier. They didn't have to like sneak up on me like a
Yeah.
ninja.
Yeah, it wasn't very tough, but we seems like we were pretty attentive kids. We were able to pick out the Santa little situation there. Hopefully, no kids who still believe in Santa were watching the podcast there.
Oh, that'd be brutal.
Very unfortunate, but we've got a brand new segment for you guys to finish off today's show. I'm very excited about it. Little inspiration here. Alex behind the camera there has got a deck of cards. He's been shuffling it for the last few minutes. He's going to pull a random card. We're all going to try to guess suit and number. We're going to call it the draw. All right, so the draw, episode 1. Cole, what's your pick?
Starting off hot, Ace of Spades. Shout
Ace?
out Motorhead.
Ace of Spades. James, what do you got?
9 of Hearts.
Okay.
Give me the 8 of clubs.
All right. I am feeling a low number here. I think I'm going to go 3 of... Let's take 3 of diamonds. 7 of clubs.
What'd you say, Red?
Man, 8 of clubs.
Wow.
Dang, right on.
Bummer.
We were definitely close.
Should have
All
went
right.
with my other high school number. All
That's right.
Well, deuces.